Hello. Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast, where I'm your host, Liz, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Marcus.
Wow, nothing special
Hey.
today?
I only do it every once in a while.
All right.
I am cracking open my first drink of the day, which is saying a lot for a little
I
bit.
mean, there's no predictions, Liz. You don't need to crack open anything.
I know, but after Raw, sometimes it's just necessary, man.
This was a good Raw, though. This was pretty good.
Yeah.
Less time wasters. No 24/7 bullshit.
True. And we actually sort of kind of got like a good use for the 24/7 folks.
There was like one match, like one jobber match, and I don't know if you can even really consider it that because there was still like some story set up in it. Everything had a larger story connection. Literally everything. And I love that.
You want to hear a funny story real quick?
Yeah.
So usually when I go to make the tweet for the night, or the 2 tweets for the night, I have to go, because my phone only saves a copy and pasted thing to the clipboard for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually have to go back, like I write the tweet, save the draft, go back in our tweets, get the link, and go back up and put it in. With my stupid brain, went to go fucking do that. So I saved the draft for that first tweet to like announce that we would be on tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I went to go. I saved the draft. Must have gone to look for the link and forgotten completely. Because I went to go get the link just now, and I looked and I was like, well, why isn't the tweet up there? Because it's still in the draft.
Oh,
I'm
Liz.
a silly, silly man.
Yep. All right, so news.
Sometimes you like to.
Well, we've got a
Go through some
long
stuff.
Raw episode ahead of us, so
Yeah, you're right.
a chalk
News.
a stuffed Raw.
The turducken of a raw. A raw turducken. Get it? The turducken can be raw. Ever had one of those?
No.
I have. It's an experience. Anyways, I encourage you to go and retweet the tweet while I start the news.
Okay.
First things first. Sad news is Barry Orton passed away at the not so ripe age of 62 over the weekend. We did not talk about that yet. So it's not really clear what he passed from. Dave Meltzer reported it first. But he fought quite a bit in WWE and ICW as Barry Orton with an E, Barry-O, and as the Zodiac. So that was also Randy Orton's uncle, if you're wondering how the name sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
So sad news there. Such a young age. So it's kind of shocking. Also kind of thought that Randall's uncle and father and that kind of like that lineage would be older. But I think that's just because I forget that Randy started so young.
Yeah.
But moving on from that, we've got a couple of interesting things. First is, God, of course, I don't have this saved. But, sorry, I'm trying to pull this up. Genichiro Tenryu. I'm probably botching that a little bit. But Genichiro Tenryu has been hospitalized due to congestive heart failure.
Oh.
He's He's from All Japan Pro Wrestling, if you're wondering. But he was hospitalized for that, I believe, over the weekend as well. Apparently it was urgent, but it's not life-threatening. So I'm assuming it's like one of those things that, like, if you don't deal with it, you're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you get to the hospital, you're fine. He was apparently supposed to appear with Kenta Kobashi, but that's been postponed, obviously. But it's kind of like heartbreaking in a way, because the first thing he said when talking about this, I think he was just quoted as saying this, but he said, "I'm sorry to have caused concern to all the fans and people involved." Buddy, you had heart failure. It's okay.
You should never need to apologize for going to the hospital.
I know. He said, "I was surprised at the suddenness, but I thought I was told to live again. There is no choice but to take it positively. I think about the day I can spend with you again, and I will do my best to treat it. Above all, I regret having made a big hole in the event and work, but I think it's because I'm alive, so I'm fine. I will do my best so that I can show you." Just like, buddy. He has not wrestled since 2015 though, and his final match was actually against Okada. So hopefully he heals and comes back and make himself feel better too, I guess, so he doesn't feel like he's caused such drama.
Yeah.
Some slightly less jarring news. First things first, Andrade is gone, as we reported last night, but just so I can kind of get it out in my official news segment. And there's rumors that apparently Charlotte threatened to walk if he did not get his release granted, which I thought was kind of interesting because he wasn't granted release and then he was granted release. So I no one's saying what actually happened, but there is rumors that that's the case. He also doesn't have a 90-day non-compete. Or no, okay. Not true. Mark told me he had a 90-day non-compete. Or didn't have one.
That's all the articles I saw said.
The article I'm reading that came out 12 hours ago states that he will be subjected to that traditional 90-day clause. So he won't be able to work again until June 20th. But apparently, not only did Charlotte have something to do with it, but so did Rick. So, and if people are saying, "Oh, well, Charlotte's been gone probably because of this, and she's probably also leaving because she's not on the WrestleMania poster," it's like, well, no, actually, Charlotte had COVID.
Yeah.
So, there's your news piece on that. Charlotte Flair has COVID. She announced it on her Twitter. People are being quick to jump on her for potential antics, but it is important to remember that somebody can get COVID without being completely irresponsible. So,
but also she is irresponsible.
She is irresponsible. Yeah, I'm just saying, because that seems to be the theme. Is like people are like, well, he's got COVID because he was irresponsible or so and so. Like, well, that's why I was always like really outside of like the obvious. That's why I was always nervous about getting COVID, because I was like, I don't want people to think that I was like doing stuff.
That's the only reason.
It's the only reason. It was my personal image.
But yeah, Charlotte has COVID, and that's why they've removed her from WrestleMania promo material and Raw advertisements, because they're just unsure of her situation right now. But I believe that if she recovers sooner than later, she will be returning to WrestleMania, and we will probably be getting a triple threat for the Raw Women's title.
Yeah, it seems like they do really want to have a repeat of last year, and I personally would rather just cut my own thumbs off. It'll be a sick match, but I just don't want it.
Yeah.
To say the least.
I mean,
also, can I please make a note? Oh, go on.
I'm just trying to think. Like, it might be weird to have Rhea just win the title after just coming back or coming up to Raw. I don't know.
What do you mean?
like she just came to Raw, and her first day she challenged Asuka for the title, which is fine. But actually winning it after her first challenge without even having a match on Raw.
So, I was talking about this with some friends actually because it's a good point, and I was like, I don't want to like have anything rain on my Rhea parade here, but it's fair points to say this is shit that we would normally get mad about for other people. Like, how is she just gonna come in here? You know,
That's why we got mad at Riddle.
Say, I deserve this, right? But actually, I think Miriam, brought up a good point. Was like, what was I gonna say? She should have been brought back. She should have been brought up sooner. Because then we could have seen her destroy the entire women's side and then finally say, I want that title. I just killed everybody back there.
Well, I mean, the Royal Rumble is a good case for that.
It definitely is. I think that's, that is something that's easily forgotten in a sense because it's been so long since that's happened. In terms of wrestling. But I don't know. I want her to win the title just because if they're not going to use Asuka, then I can't stand watching this happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Asuka's title reign is about, like, it should end. Whether it's Rhea or Charlotte taking it off of her. I hope it's Rhea out of the two of them. I don't think a Charlotte reign would be done well right now.
And it's, but it sucks because it's like, no offense to Asuka, because I love watching Asuka wrestle. She's an incredible wrestler.
Yes.
But I'm tired. I'm bored of watching this shit. And it's like, I don't want to be bored.
Yeah.
I want to be sitting here being like, Asuka's amazing. She's been defending this title nonstop, constantly, 100%. And what did you say? It's been like 150 days since she defended the title?
Last she defended the title was in October against Lana. And she most likely won't be defending it again until Mania. But it's just like, it's gotta end because the competition in Raw is not good. At least is not booked well. If you booked Mandy and Dana to look better, fine. If you booked Lana and Naomi to actually look like actual competitors, fine. If you book Shayna to be something other than just like a sarcastic person, fine. Like, it's just how I think we'd be complaining less if the entire scene was made to look better. Because it seems like there's no competition for her.
Right. I mean, nobody there looks... And that's why I think they had to choose Rhea. Is because it's like, who else is going to do it? No one else looks good enough to do it besides Shayna. And they're not using Shayna, so...
Peyton, I mean...
Because we're busy ruining Shayna.
It's like they refuse to use Peyton. They refuse to build her up.
I'm not... I'm not bothered by it, honestly. I was more bothered by it before. I guess... I don't know. I think what I'm bothered by is them putting her out here in, like, the writing world of it. Putting her out here like this, like, demanding, petulant child, and then having her in a squash match. It's like...
It wasn't a squash match, though. It was very competitive. Like,
It wasn't, but it was kind of a shitty match. I
mean, it was meant to just bring Rhea out. It's like you...
It wasn't, like... We'll talk about it later, but...
Yeah.
I have my...
Do you have more news?
Also,
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, the other thing is, like... And this has been talked about a lot. Naomi pinned Asuka. So why not build... Yeah, she did. She's been, like, the only one to pin Asuka, too. In, like, a long time.
Yeah.
So why not use her?
Well,
You're not giving her the
actually,
tag team title shot.
actually, according to the numbers,
Oh, okay.
give me a second. I have to find her name. Asuka. Okay, Control F. Asuka has had 5 losses this year. She's had more losses than wins.
All right. Well, one of them was Naomi. So.
Most of them were probably tag teams with Charlotte, where Charlotte lost it for her.
Yes. Right. Exactly. So what I'm saying is, in terms of a genuine fight, Naomi was the last person to actually pin her in a believable setting. But no, now we're just not letting her get the tag team titles, which I'm sure they're setting up for, but whatever. Anyways, Let me move on to more news before I get mad. Tom Castor, the ref from NXT who tore his bicep during a match, somehow is out indefinitely because he tore his bicep. I think he just got surgery on it, but like...
How does that happen? How does a ref do that?
I don't know. Bless his soul, but I don't understand. Also, I'm realizing I'm wearing the same shirt and I have a very similar eyeshadow look on today, so I apologize. I'm actually not sorry. The fact that I have makeup on today is just stunning. I have different earrings though. Final piece of news, and I don't know if this makes anyone feel better or if anyone really... I don't know. It doesn't make it better, but Mustafa Ali was written off TV for a good reason, and it's a reason that we actually reported on before, which is he's had a torn PCL for months now, and he was written off because he has to go get surgery on that. Does that make the disbanding of Retribution any better? No. Does that make the usage and the or lack of usage of Mustafa better? No. But it's a reason that you can at least hang your hat on for this particular instance.
Yeah, it's something that, like, I wonder if he hadn't had, like, this wasn't happening, what he would be doing right now. Like, would he have still been kicked out of Retribution? And if so, like, would he be doing singles runs?
I think, honestly, considering there's tag teams that have been together for no good reason for an extended period of time, Dana and Mandy, and have just survived somehow, I think the idea of kicking the entire Retribution concept to the curb, in spite of all the buildup that they put into it, just because he's got to go get surgery, seems a bit stupid.
Yeah, I think it's like this was supposed to happen. I think Retribution breakup was very much supposed to happen, especially with how often he's been berating Retribution. Like it's been written in the cards. Like it's not like it happened out of nowhere. Like unlike the New Day split up.
To be fair, it's not like he woke up Sunday morning and said, probably should get surgery on this old bastard and inform Vince. I'm sure that that's been planned. But again, that makes it worse because it's like, well, if it's been planned, then we should have been able to have a more creative way to go out on this one, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. We didn't see any Retribution tonight, so that's the last I will be talking about this probably.
I just thought about that. Like, why didn't we see them tonight?
Yeah, T-Bar said Monday. I believed him. I don't know.
Unless we see Dijak on NXT now.
So do you think he's going to say Wednesday now?
He's going to say Tuesday now, and then Wednesday.
He did tweet, "You get what you deserve."
He said that yesterday, I think, didn't he?
Yeah. I'm just saying. Bless his soul. Still love T-Bar.
Any more news?
Nope, that's all. Actually, I can change the sign for you if you would like.
All right, so we've got a pretty decent episode of Raw, like I already said. We don't start with any promo right away. We just jump right into a match. Interesting way to start a Raw. Very NXT way.
Can you do this on SmackDown too.
No, on SmackDown we started with a promo. We started with Sasha and Bianca backstage, or in Gorilla. But we start with Bobby Lashley versus Sheamus. We start off the night. Don't know why this match happened, but something clearly stemmed from it, which is excusable. Liz?
I don't want to.
Okay.
All right. We start with just like some fucking grappling. Like the first 3 minutes of the match is just grappling. We get a clubbing clothesline to Bobby, and then a snap suplex to Sheamus. Bobby then starts trying to break Sheamus's neck, which at that point, it was kind of understandable. Sheamus manages to elbow his way out. There's a neck breaker to Sheamus, right back into a headlock. Bobby then gets I don't know. He gets pushed into the ropes and then hooks his arm under oh fuck, I got hooked. I was like, and then Bobby manages to use it to his advantage because Sheamus runs at him, and he lifts Sheamus out to the apron. Sheamus pulls Bobby's neck into the ropes from the apron though, and then Bobby just clotheslines the piss out of Sheamus, sending him inside.
Real quick, we're wondering why this match happened. I think I know why. I think I know the reason. So, WWE Australia 6 hours ago tweeted the announcement that this match was happening. Sheamus replied to it saying poster bias because Bobby Lashley is shown more prominently than Sheamus in the picture. And then Bobby Lashley quote tweeted Sheamus's tweet and said, maybe win a match and you'll be in the front of posters. So I think that's our reasoning.
I wouldn't say it's good reasoning, but it is still
something, yeah.
Right on. So then Shelton and Cedric come out, and I said, "Oh yay, it's Shelton and Cedric, friends, football friends." And then Bobby looks confused, and MVP look confused, and Cedric jumps up on the apron to distract the ref, but also distracting Bobby at the same time, while Shelton runs through Sheamus, and then Bobby's just standing there looking pissed.
Yeah. He can do it himself.
I just bit my lip, making a face.
That's right.
That's something. Anyways, I'll talk about it later. So we get a headlock on Sheamus and then a body slam. Cedric then distracts Bobby. Bobby gets rolled up. Once he gets out of that, he attempts to spear Sheamus, and Sheamus sidesteps him, sending him into the post. We get clotheslines to Bobby, and then the 10 beats to the bottom, and then Bobby gets sent to the ringside area, and he's he looks at MVP what the fuck is going on? And I said the same thing. So it was fair. However, Sheamus then goes up top with a flying clothesline. We get a second one once we're back in the ring, and then a big knee strike, and Bobby's looking fucking bad. Cedric then distracts Sheamus and allows Bobby to get a nasty spinebuster off onto Sheamus. And finally we get the Hurt Lock to win. But I get strong. So after this, they go into the ring and MVP holds up Bobby's hand, and then Cedric and Shelton get in. And I got heavy Bobby Lashley's about to kill these two guys vibes. And I've been petitioning very hard for the Hurt Business isn't breaking up. They just wanted to establish some characters and stuff like that. No big deal.
Yeah.
Even this was a Cedric thing for sure. I could see Cedric doing this shit 100%. Shelton?
I mentioned this while we were watching. Cedric and Shelton just lost their titles. They probably feel very useless right now. And they're just trying to help out as much as possible. They're trying to help do some hurt business. Because this was kind of what they were about prior to Bobby winning the title. But I don't see them splitting up. I mean, that would seem out of character of MVP to just kick him out. I think there would be some disciplining, and I think they'll shape up one way or another. But yeah, I don't think they'll be kicked out.
I'm hoping not. But I'm also not getting like good vibes. Not getting good vibes.
Hurt Business has been like it's been driving up ratings for them, so I don't think at this point they'll end it.
Fingers crossed.
But up next we have Hurt Business backstage, and Bobby just so mad. He wants to know what happened. He's asking Cedric and Shelton. They kind of just respond with shrugs, and Bobby says he doesn't need their help. Cedric said, "You mess with one person, you mess with one of us, you mess with the Hurt Business." Implying that Sheamus messed with Bobby. MVP chimes in and says it was an embarrassment. When you embarrass yourselves, you mess with Bobby. You embarrass Bobby. And MVP just says, "You got to make it right. What are you going to do to make this right?" And we're just left with that. Unsure of how they're going to make it right. But then we have Asuka versus Peyton Royce. First match with Peyton Royce in a while. First singles match with Asuka in a while.
All right. So Asuka leaps over Peyton, does her little dance. We get a shoulder tackle to Peyton. Asuka goes for a single leg crab, but Peyton quickly avoids to the point where I almost didn't know if it was actually supposed to be a single leg crab. She leaps over. Peyton leaps over Asuka, nearly puts her into a calf crusher. Asuka manages to get Peyton into an armbar, and actually, this is the part where I was like, "Oh, Peyton, you kind of brought something to the table today." She is put into the armbar. She manages to use her legs to grab Asuka's legs to separate herself, and then eventually bridges, does this funky little bridge, throwing Asuka into a calf crusher. Confusing, but good.
Yeah,
good confusing.
Peyton looked pretty great in this match. She had some spots where she looked iffy, but I mean, for the most part, she seems to be getting better and better each match.
Yeah, I'm impressed, to say the least. Asuka is then sent face first into the turnbuckles after Peyton dodges her. We get a snap suplex to Asuka and then some chops. Asuka manages a spinning back fist to Peyton, and then she gets strung up going for the hip attack because that's something Asuka does more often than you'd expect a WWE champion to do. But and Peyton gets out to the apron and kicks her. I guess it was the gentlest little tap, and not even a leg slap to make me feel like, okay, this is a thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sometimes you miss the mark sometimes.
Yeah. She then wrenches Asuka down to the ringside area. We go to commercial, but while the commercial is happening, Asuka rolled up Peyton, then attempted a backslide but had no luck. We then get a German suplex and a kick to the face of Peyton. Asuka attempts the crossbody but fails by falling pretty short of the mark. We get an elbow back to Asuka, and then this is the thing that Peyton did that kind of I think blew both of our minds. Where Peyton was back to back with Asuka, hooked her arms. Asuka hooked her legs around Peyton. Peyton just sent her shins and knees first into the canvas, and I was like,
call it a knee buster.
Sure, a knee buster. Because I sat there and I said, that's fucking ridiculous.
That's great.
I've never seen that before. And To be fair, the face Peyton made afterwards was like sort of surprised that she did it too.
Ooh.
Which,
you know what else you can call it? A knee shatter.
there you go. We miss you, Ridge.
Knee cracker.
We miss you. Speaking of Ridge Holland, by the way, guys, he's nowhere near returning. In case anyone was wondering, my dude is nowhere near returning. He's healing, but he's not anywhere near it. So, prayers for Ridge. Asuka attempts for the Asuka lock, but Peyton rolls her up instead. Royce then gets double knees to the face from Asuka. Asuka starts holding Peyton up to the top rope. She looks like she wants a suplex, but Peyton pushes her down and then double stomps on her back. But pretty quickly after that, we get an Asuka lock on Peyton, who taps the fuck out. And then we get the woman of my dreams, Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
And
so Rhea Ripley comes out and she's in the ring talking with Asuka. She says, "Okay, Asuka, you proved your point." She said that Charlotte challenged you while she was recovering, or while you were recovering. But now Charlotte isn't here because she's recovering from COVID. She started shouting out COVID in the middle of it. You know, interesting that WWE, since Drew got it, they've suddenly been saying it on TV.
It's the bare minimum, and that makes me fucking crack up, honestly.
That's the real forbidden door. But she says, "Okay, straight up, I'm challenging you, Asuka, to a title match at WrestleMania." We love the bluntness. And I think the reason this is different from Riddle coming in and challenging for the IC title, Rhea is clearly a dominant force in WWE, just by her looks and by her experience in NXT. Plus, she has amazing charisma. And she's also challenging somebody who's had kind of a flat title reign and a long title reign. And whereas when Riddle came in and challenged for the title, I think it was AJ Styles had just gotten it. So there wasn't a chance for a long title reign at that point. But I'm very much looking forward to this, and based on our Twitter poll, a lot of other people are looking forward to this too.
So happy. I missed her so much. And the fact that she came out just like Rhea Ripley does, talking just like Rhea Ripley does, I am so fucking excited for this match.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to be so hard, and it's going to be so good, and I'm just...
Yeah,
I'm gonna riptide my ass.
They did not tone down Rhea Ripley at all, and it's perfect. You tone down Rhea Ripley, you're fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that she is an amazing addition to the roster, and I'm so excited. I might be more excited for that match than Sasha and Bianca. But after that,
I don't know. I think if they were booking the Sasha Bianca match better, we might be just as excited.
That's the thing.
Well, you know, now that we're past Fastlane, though, we're probably gonna get that shit, and that's probably gonna be exciting as fuck. I think we're gonna get a Sasha Bayley fucking match. When I look past everything, when I look at the context of the match, I think we're gonna get a nasty fucking match on that night too. A part of me hopes that they put Bianca and Sasha on a different night from Rhea and Asuka, just so I can have two things to look forward to as far as women's wrestling is concerned.
I don't think that they'll book Sasha and Bianca better now, just because Reginald's still around.
Yeah, but they're not dealing with Nia and Shayna anymore. That's not their problem. And the thing for me at this point is, again, like I said, I'm not looking at the booking. I'm looking at my own personal brain and my knowledge of the two of them as wrestlers. So that alone, 'cause I feel like it's kind of like easy to be like, well, they're not booking it right, so I'm not excited. But, like, you know they're good.
Yeah.
You don't want the WWE to determine that for you.
Right.
I'm pumped.
Ever since the Biggie Apollo match, I need to kind of taper my expectations.
You just got to look past anything that fucking creative tells you at this point.
Yeah.
Just look at your own highlight reel.
But after that, we have Drew McIntyre backstage with Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce asks why Drew did that, and Drew said, "I'm not going to stand idly by while two guys beat up on Sheamus." And then Adam Pearce says, "Well, Shelton and Cedric challenged you to a 2-on-1 handicap match. Are you going to accept it? I mean, we can. There are ways we can work around this. If you don't want to accept it, that's fine. I understand the circumstances are against you." But Drew says, "How about we put something on the line? If I win, Cedric and Shelton are banned from ringside at WrestleMania." And then I said, "Hell yes, this sounds like a good match because it has stakes now." But then we have Miz TV. Probably, for most of it, the low point of the show. Miz and John Morrison are in, and also this looked like it was pre-recorded because the wide had, well, if you look behind the Miz, he had like a select few people on LED panels, which are clearly identifiable. But then in this close-up, completely different LED panels. It was very weird. It seemed like some of this segment was pre-recorded. Also, speaking of pre-recorded, something that I saw on Twitter that you didn't mention during the news, and I forgot to mention, the two go-home shows for WrestleMania, Raw and SmackDown, will be pre-taped because their lease is ending with the Thunderdome.
Ma'am? I talked about this on Friday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Calm down with that.
Okay.
My God, you think I'd miss that? Actually, to be fair, I didn't mention that it was because of the lease ending. But that does make sense because opening day is like what, April 1st, I think.
Think so.
Yeah. I mentioned the pre-recording, not the other shit. So fair point.
Oh,
can I interrupt real quick? Actually, since we're
you
on the
already
tangent?
have, so go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna burst through that goddamn wall. This is not about wrestling. I just want to know if Milam watches this. I want to know why the fuck he was with a monkey.
If you address this being on YouTube in any way, something will happen during the stream to where it will like crash.
Yeah, that's fair.
And stop the recording.
I'll message him if that happens, but I just need to know why he was with a monkey.
Okay.
I saw that and did not comment on it.
Well, Milam, if this is on YouTube and you're watching, leave a comment. But Miz TV. So Miz says that the last thing he needed was to be laughed at and ridiculed by Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. And he starts yelling, "Who do you think you are?" He said it's one thing to do a special performance, but it's another thing to hang on and hang on and hang on with your special bouncer, Damian Priest. Miz said that he's a 2-time Grand Slam champion, but yet he still gets no respect. And he shows the WrestleMania poster, and Miz isn't on there, but Bad Bunny is. And then he says, "Well, we have something special for you, Bad Bunny." And he debuts a music video filmed with John Morrison called "Hey Hey Hop Hop." And it's Miz and Morrison in bunny costumes, a diss track for Bad Bunny. Yeah. That's it.
Easter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Easter is coming up.
Sure it is. When is it?
I don't know.
Easter.
Anyways. But then Miz challenges Bad Bunny to WrestleMania and says, to show you what I'm capable of, I'm challenging Jeff Hardy right now. And then we have the Miz versus Jeff Hardy. Basically, jobber Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so Hardy starts off by saying, hey, I bet you can't do this match without Morrison in your corner. So the Miz sends him away. Simple as that. We get a knee to Hardy and then some punches. Miz tries to slam him into the top turnbuckle, but Hardy sends a back elbow towards Miz. I don't know why my mouth just did that when I said elbow. When like elbow. Am I okay? Do I still look symmetrical? Hardy then begins tossing Miz into buckle after buckle. We get a jawbreaker to the Miz, and then a boot to the face drops Hardy. Then there's a kick to the face of Hardy as Jeff sits on the ground. Hardy gets up, starts throwing some punches, gets thrown to the ropes, and is kneed in the midsection on the rebound. We get some knees to the spine of Hardy that don't actually fucking connect. Before a headlock, Hardy manages to punch out. We get a step up in Seguri to the Miz, and then the double axe handles inverted atomic double leg dropkick splash. As I've so aptly titled the move. Because it's just one move if you do them all in rapid succession. So I'd rather watch Asuka get strung up in the ropes 4 times than watch this shit. I know every week I have a grievance about this, but still. There's double boots to the face of Miz and a frog splash off the ropes. Jeff goes for the twist of fate and is sent into the post. We get a skull-crushing finale to finish the match. And then, as Mr. Miz stands triumphant in the ring, who comes out of nowhere with a guitar to smash over his fucking back? Bad Bunny himself. God, I don't do that to Bad Bunny. So Bad Bunny does that. It's pretty fucking awesome. I had the time of my life. I hope you did too. He then walks up the ramp like the cool dude he fucking is. Gets a little microphone and says, I accept your challenge, bitch. And I said, Mr. Bunny, please.
Mr. Hop
I
Hop.
can't handle that. Mr. Hop Hop. And then he says, see you at WrestleMania. And I am, like, I know there's still people who are, like, out of their fucking minds, probably also racist, but who don't like Bad Bunny being there. But I don't get it. He's having, like, this is probably his fucking childhood dream come true. And I'm so happy for him.
I mean, WWE's been killing it with the celebrity wrestlers recently. I mean, Bad Bunny and Pat McAfee all in, like, such short amount of time. Like, you can't top them. They're the 2 best celebrity wrestlers that WWE has ever had.
And that doesn't feel ham-fisted either.
Right.
Like, the way that, like, AEW had... And I'm not trying to shit on AEW. I've grown past that as a person. But AEW had Snoop Dogg about 6 months ago, I think now. And Shaq maybe 2 months ago now. And like that's just such rapid succession. I really like the way that I don't feel like I'm watching a Bad Bunny promo. I feel like I'm watching a wrestler.
Right.
You know? Maybe more of like a civilian wrestler, but still a wrestler.
Yeah. Also real quick, so as you know on Dynamite, John Silver has a match with Darby Allin for the TNT Championship.
Yes, I do know that.
Velveeta, the company, the food company Velveeta, tweeted, "Let's go, Darby Allin, beat Silver," and then John Silver quote tweeted out with just the middle finger emoji, and Somebody said, "Can't believe cheese hates you," and John Silver said, "I got big cheese heat." And then Velveeta responded to what John Silver responded with and said, "Also, of course, Silver isn't verified."
What is with Velveeta and liking horrible people?
Who else did they
Dude,
like?
go John Silver. I'm so excited.
Who else did they like?
I'm just saying Darby Allin.
Oh, so he's the only one for that.
Yeah, no, and also the way they treat my stomach. So, fuck you, Velveeta. Probably will still eat the mac and cheese though, because I'm a trashy woman. You know me. I like that I can't hear you when you sigh because it's just so quiet.
Also, Nia Jax and Reginald filmed a TikTok together. And Shayna Baszler is just walking in the background, walks into the frame, and just pushes Reginald out of the frame.
She gets me. She gets me.
Shayna's turning face. I love it.
Honestly, yeah, this should be considered a face turn. I'm also tired.
Maybe if Rhea's the Raw Women's Champion, we'll have Shayna against Rhea.
Don't start with that shit. Because you know how badly I want that.
And then
That'd be the sickest fucking match in the world.
Then Survivor Series, Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair.
Not like this, Mark.
Imagine
Not
it.
like this.
Picture it in your head.
To be fair, Asuka's from NXT technically, so.
I mean, yeah, so is Charlotte and Sasha, but
Yeah,
also not.
I guess once you're far enough removed from it, it's like you've been sanitized enough. I'm sorry, honey.
Yeah. But after that match, we have AJ Styles and Omos backstage. They're just walking along, and Riddle rides through on his scooter, and as he passes them, he calls AJ Skipper, and AJ's like, "What? But I'm not your captain anymore." I love AJ. He's been so great recently.
AJ's been really good recently. I'll admit that much.
And then we have AJ Styles and Omos in the ring after it's reiterated that AJ and Omos will be facing the New Day for the Raw Tag Team Championship. AJ says Omos will bury the New Day in the ring, literally bury them, open up the ring, and put them inside like the Boneyard match. And then he said New Day are the longest reigning tag team champions, so they have to go over. He's like, and he said, "We can't lose. We can't. We got Omos." And then the New Day come out. Kofi says, "I don't see a tag team. I just see a small man. A small man trying to compensate for his lack of size, hiding behind a giant who does his evil bidding." I forget who said this, but I think it might have been Kofi who said, AJ will just bring you down because nobody can pin you. But we'll pin Omos. Or we'll pin AJ, sorry. Xavier says, AJ doesn't even know you, Omos. And AJ's like, yeah, we're best friends. I know everything about him. And then Xavier's like, oh yeah? AJ, what's Omos's favorite color? AJ says, what does AJ say? What does he guess? Purple? Red? I think guess is red.
Red.
And Omos is like,
right.
No, it's mauve. And AJ says, that's not even a real color. He's just messing with me.
The best part is that mauve is actually kind of a red color.
It's like a purple-ish.
So AJ wasn't totally wrong. It's a burgundy, a wine color.
Well,
if you will.
actually, Denise Salcedo posted a picture because she had to look up mauve on Google, and it's all like purple colors, like a pastel purple.
Oh. Well, no, this is mauve,
Oh.
which doesn't translate well on the screen, but it's a purpley red that looks like it's been burnt.
Okay.
For lack of a better way of describing it.
And then Xavier says, "Well, what's his favorite ice cream?" I forget what AJ guessed, but Almost is like, "No, it's s'mores." And then I think Kofi then asks, "Well, who's Omos's favorite WWE superstar?" AJ says, "Well, obviously, it's AJ Styles." And Omos just sheepishly says, "It's actually Andre the Giant."
I mean, he's got to have an inspiration, doesn't he? Why else would he be that tall?
I love how Omos can't even lie. Like, he can't even lie. He just... Oh, this whole feud is so wholesome and so fun. I love it. But then AJ just starts, like, being fed up with this. He just starts AJ Rocks chants and starts dancing like the New Day Rocks chants. It's so beautiful. It's so good. And that takes us right into AJ Styles versus Kofi Kingston. A hell of a match.
Yes, and do.
Mm-hmm.
Very good at speaking. I have one hard seltzer, and suddenly my brain just goes to mush. I used to drink hard seltzer all the time, and now it's like it's once a month, and my brain just like shuts off. It's like, this is sugar and like hard alcohol. I'm like, I know. I'm sorry, buddy. Anyways, so Kofi gets AJ into a headlock. AJ manages to fight out, and Kofi just brings him right back down into another one. AJ powers up and is put right back in that headlock a third time. He goes to run, or Kofi goes to run, but AJ pulls him back by the pants and puts him in his own headlock. Kofi is then hit with the shoulder tackle, and AJ gets hit with a back elbow. Kofi launches AJ, and then we get a gut buster onto AJ in the corner. We get a drop kick and a single leg takedown to AJ. Then another drop kick that sends him from the ring entirely. AJ then drags Kofi out of the ring. Kofi punches AJ as like a thank you, I guess, for bringing him from the ring. Like keeps like his eye on Omos because Omos is just standing there like being himself, I guess. I don't know how else to describe him besides like, I guess, threatening. Kofi gets slammed. Yeah, kind of menacing, I guess. How can you be menacing when you're so well dressed?
Imposing.
He is an imposing. Okay, that's a better word for him because I don't feel like he menaces.
Yeah, he's not menacing.
He's just tall and lovely.
Mm-hmm.
So Kofi is then slammed, literally slammed head first into the steel steps, and for like a full second, I think both you and I were like, "Is Kofi knocked out?" I think
it looked like it.
It did. Because he hit that with his fucking head. I mean, I'm sure he hit it with his hands, but like he hit it with his head. And Kofi's good at selling shit too, so it's like, call the medics. We get some back elbows to Kofi once we're back in the ring, and then a headlock on Kofi. Kofi gets slammed into. Kofi slams into AJ and hits him with elbows, a single leg drop kick, and then a bone drop. We get a step of enziguri to Kofi. Kofi returns the favor in the corner after getting tangled in the ropes. He starts going up top, but AJ slugs him in the face. AJ looks like he wants that superplex, but Kofi won't release the rope. Kofi sends AJ down to the mat face first. He is splashed to the back of AJ. Kofi's looking like he wants the SOS, but AJ puts the calf crusher on Kofi. Kofi manages to reach the ropes. Styles starts kind of dismantling the knee of Kofi. But Kingston ends up rolling over. rolling up and over. Sorry. Sending AJ down to the mat. We still get a dropkick to the knee of Kofi. AJ wants the phenomenal forearm, but Xavier, as AJ goes up to the top rope, Xavier plays his trombone, which scares Styles. He still attempts it, but goes right into the SOS Sabu.
Fun fact about what Xavier played on the trombone. What he played was actually the TNA theme.
I thought he only played like one note.
Somebody pointed that out on either Reddit or Twitter. Like he played that and then like sung some of the vocals from it too.
I'm sad I didn't know that.
I mean,
however, I'm glad I do now.
Mm-hmm.
AJ still attempts the phenomenal forearms, but goes right into the SOS. New Day wins. That's life for you, baby. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good fucking match, though. Good fucking match.
Also, Andrade tweeted to Aleister Black, "We will meet again in a ring in a few years. You are a great talent and a good friend. A big hug, Tommy End."
Oh no, we're losing Aleister too!
Probably. I mean, he's never gonna be used by WWE. He's not even main event. You would think he'd be on main event. No, nothing.
The fact that he still refers to Murphy as Murphy, and he's still referring to Charlotte as Charlotte. I mean, to be fair, her name is Charlotte, but still. But to refer to Aleister as Tommy End?
Oh man.
Yoinks, brother.
Yeah. Anyway. Did you finish the match or is there still more?
Yeah. That's why I said the New Day won.
Okay. We then have an interview with Sheamus. He said he accepted the fight today because he doesn't back down from a fight. And he's asked about Drew helping. He said Drew helped because of respect, but he didn't ask for it. But then Riddle rides through and asks Sheamus a bunch of questions about being Irish and Ireland, like, has he seen the Loch Ness Monster? Has he seen a leprechaun, etc., etc. And then Sheamus asks about the scooter. He's like, is it easy to ride? Riddle hands it off to him, and he's just looking it over, like, oh yeah, it's a nice scooter, all right. And then just smacks Riddle with it right in the stomach.
Bless his soul.
Sheamus walks off, and Riddle's like, is it something I said? And now...
No, Sheamus did exactly what we wanted.
It looks like Sheamus is now in the United States Championship scene. Hopefully he gets it, because I feel like Riddle is just a transitional champion for the time being. Oh, you know what? Sheamus gets it, and then Keith Lee challenges him for it.
Oop.
Mia Yim's fiance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. NXT.
I'm remembering him now. Just saying, bring him fucking back.
You know, we don't know what the circumstances are. He might be injured for real. For some reason, they're being super quiet about it.
That's what makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Because usually when somebody's injured, we know about it before they talk about it.
Right.
Like, for example, like Mustafa was injured, and we really didn't know that until he knew that.
Mm-hmm. But then we move right into Drew McIntyre versus Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, the Hurt Business. Where if Drew McIntyre wins, Cedric and Shelton are barred from ringside at WrestleMania. Really good match. Really good match. I thought it was really good.
I think honestly, you know what it is for me? I don't like saying this. Is I don't like Drew's character right now. I don't think I'm going to be comfortable with it until he's out of the title scene. Or this particular title scene.
Right.
I don't think I'm going to be okay with it because right now I'm still like on my edge. Like, I don't want him to get the title back.
I think the problem is once he's out of the title scene, he's gonna have nothing. Like his character won't fit anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean that's a problem. Honestly, if that's the fear that people have, then that's a problem. And I share that fear with you. But with that said, it makes me nervous. And I'm bored of his moveset. I noticed that tonight. I'm bored of it. He's kind of getting like a Jeff Hardy edge with, not to the same degree, but in the sense that Drew's moveset never changes. Like, we see different things from different people occasionally, or at least in a different order. But Drew's moveset usually takes the same path constantly. We get the overhead belly to bellies. We get the future shock DDT attempt. If it's successful, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Then we get the Glasgow kiss, the Claymore, so on. I want to see something new from him. I want him to surprise me one of these days. If that makes sense. I don't know if it does.
I don't think he will. But I get what you mean. I am very tired of him copying other wrestlers' moves. I think it's lame. I think it's not creative.
Yeah.
But the Claymore kick is one of the best finishes in all of WWE.
I do like a good Claymore kick. I will admit that much. I don't want to get tired of him, but I'm feeling a little tired of him. That's all. But anyways. So we start with Shelton and Drew. Drew starts by beating the absolute piss out of Shelton. We get a big back elbow to Benjamin as well, and then a vertical suplex to him, which we don't see the vertical suplex very often from Drew, so that much. Cedric's on the fucking ringside being a little fucking chihuahua, so Drew drags him in, and then Shelton, or sorry, not Shelton. Here I go. Cedric is slammed to the canvas. We get a huge back body drop to Cedric. And then, sorry. Let me regain. We get a huge back body drop to Cedric, but it does the job technically because this distraction leads to Shelton getting a waist lock on Drew. So as much as Cedric may not like to admit it, because I'm sure his back hurts, it was for a good cause. We get a hard clothesline to Shelton, and Drew stomps on Shelton's hand. Shelton then gets slammed into the buckles. We get an elbow to the face of Drew as Shelton is whipped into yet another corner. A clothesline then flattens Shelton. Drew's looking for the Claymore. I don't know. Drew's going for the Claymore, but Cedric saves his ass. That's what I meant to type there. It's gibberish. But Cedric saves his ass by pulling him from the ring. Benjamin's then sent into the post ringside by Mr. Drew and then dropped into the barricade. We get a knee to the jaw of McIntyre, and Cedric is then tagged in shortly thereafter. This leads to a back elbow to Cedric, a fist to Shelton, and then a chop block to Drew's bad knee. Takes him down to the canvas. Cedric then dives out onto Drew as Drew rolls to the outside. Shelton gets tagged in right after that. He's thrown into the barricade. Cedric starts beating on Drew before tagging in Shelton again. We get a dropkick from Cedric and a knee from Shelton right into Drew's jaw. Cedric gets back in. Shelton throws Drew right into a knee from Cedric. And we get one final kick from Shelton to Drew. Shelton gets back in after that, which this is the rapid tagging that I like. They don't do, like, for example, like Mandy and Dana, when they do rapid tags, it's just, she's in the corner, punch, 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 tag, punch, 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 tag.
Yeah.
This was moves. We got spots here.
Right.
Shelton gets back in, though. He starts punching Drew to a fucking pulp. He then is speared in the corner. Shelton starts kicking Drew. Drew starts chopping Shelton. It's interchangeable at this point. Shelton goes for a knee strike, but it's caught. He still manages to step up into Seguri. Another thing I really like about Shelton is that it's like, if you take one leg away, it doesn't mean anything. Like, you can hold on to one, he's still going to get the other one up and over.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a Glasgow kiss to Mr. Shelton. Cedric gets tagged in, and it's turned inside out by a clothesline, and you just get the huge overhead belly to bellies. A future shock DDT to Shelton, and then a Claymore to Shelton, and then another one to Cedric, who is just fucking dead at that point for Drew to win, which then just goes to prove my point of the overhead belly to bellies, future shock DDT, Claymore.
Yeah. But he makes all those moves look really good. And plus, I think
he does them well.
What made this match great, in my opinion, was Cedric and Shelton.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Painful, but made it good.
Mm-hmm. After that, we had Cedric and Shelton. I almost said Selton. Cedric and Shelton and MVP backstage in the locker room. MVP's yelling at them. Bobby comes in and yells at them some more. Bobby says, I'm going to go ahead and find someone who will get the job done. And so he turns the corner to all of the 24/7 title guys, the main event guys, and tells them to take out Drew McIntyre. And if they do, he'll give them a WWE title shot. And then we move on to Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
Can I just say something, by the way?
Yeah.
The funniest thing to me is that Bobby was just like, I know who the most desperate group in this fucking company is right now. You guys!
Oh, yeah.
Mean.
This might be... I hope this is a better bounty storyline than when King Corbin put a bounty on Riddle.
Yes, actually. Because that was good for a minute. That wasn't a horrible storyline.
He had Chad Gable.
Could have been worse.
Chad Gable went after Riddle once, won a match, and then that storyline was over.
Hear me out. It could have been worse.
Yeah, we could still have Shorty G.
For SmackDown at the time, which I don't think we should have expected anything from them.
Yeah.
All right. So I apologize in advance. I did not take good notes on this at all. So, Mandy and Shayna start. Mandy takes no time destroying Shayna. She gets Dana in. Dana is backbreakered in a way that it looked like her spine fucking bent, and I was kind of surprised by that. But, it's Shayna, so I'm not also shocked. Dana then dropkicks Shayna into Nia. Nia gets tagged in. We get a stupid clothesline to Nia because she did her little twirly thing, which I fucking just cannot stand. Nia then just back elbows the shit out of Dana. Reggie starts distracting Mandy, who chases him into the ring. We get an elbow to the face of Nia from the freshly legal Mandy at this point. Because, by the way, Reggie got into the ring and did some backflips. I don't fucking know.
And then Byron shouted, "There's a match going on."
Byron is my king.
Mm-hmm.
Just absolute king. I'm glad he also hates this shit.
Can we also mention the fact that Lana and Naomi were on commentary and had amazing looks today?
Say it again, you cut out.
Lana and Naomi were on commentary tonight for this match, and they looked amazing.
Yes, they did. And like this for double reason, which is they were on commentary and they were kind of setting up for a rematch. And I said, WrestleMania.
They didn't kind of set it up. They straight up said they want a rematch.
Right, which I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, their fucking outfits were awesome. And, you know, they do this every fucking week now, too.
Mm-hmm.
They just look good.
Yeah.
They look like exactly, I mean, outside of the fact that, you know, Nia and Shayna did match today, I do like them as the tag team champions. I just hate this fucking storyline that we're going down right now. Even though it does give me pissed off Shayna, which is kind of like I don't know, I'm kind of into it. I'm just gonna say that right now. Anyways. Back when I hated her, I think I was just in denial. But they look cohesive. I am convinced of their tag teamness. I'm so excited to see where this goes. Yeah, but or cohesion. How's that?
There you go.
That's on an SAT word. 1910. So I know that.
What was that?
It's nothing. I just got a 1910 on my SAT, so I would know the SAT words.
God, I made a new emote today. Should have made a 1910 one. I want to see
this. I thought you did.
No, I didn't yet. I'll be the next one. That'll be the tier 3 emote.
It's on you. Oh, okay. Well, if you really want to make fun of me, just give us your money. Which actually, you know what? If anyone wants to make fun of me, give me your money. Then you can do whatever you want.
Don't put subbing like that. Nobody's gonna sub if you say it like that.
I love you all. I don't know. I don't know how to do this shit. You're the one who's in charge of that. I'm just here for the spice.
You're the host.
Oh. I'm just saying that if somebody's gonna make fun of me, in real life even, I'd like at least $5 in return. Something like that. Buy me a coffee, and then make fun of me. I think that's a fair trade-off.
You want to continue?
I knew you were going to say that. Anyways, I guess. Shayna grabs and wrenches Mandy down from the ring. Shayna gets in. Reggie distracts Shayna. Shayna attacks her from the ringside area, and quite literally, that's where my notes end. I wrote distracts her from the ringside area, and I didn't write anything else. Nia Samoan dropped Mandy to win.
Right.
There you go.
Yep.
I remembered something.
Yeah. And then we cut to Alexa Bliss on the fake ring backstage on a swing set. He said, "I'm still here, Randy. And so is he. Be careful what you wish for." Because Randy wants to see the Fiend. And then we get Shane McMahon and Elias in the ring. Elias didn't have much time to prepare last night, so Shane's giving them a rematch. And then Elias plays a new song called Braun is Stupid. And this also features Shane's vocals. And then Braun comes out pissed off, and we get Braun Strowman versus Elias again.
Some fucking reason.
I mean, this at least made sense because Shane gave the qualifier, "You weren't prepared."
Right. That's fair. The only thing that doesn't make sense is the fact that I know it's gonna be Shane and Braun at WrestleMania.
I mean, right. That's like the story bit that moves us out of it, because Braun said, "I want you at WrestleMania."
Yeah, I know. Anyways, whatever. So Braun starts immediately clobbering fucking Elias. He slams him into buckle after buckle. You get a clubbing blow to Elias's chest before Braun stands on him against the ropes. He then whips the soul out of Elias into the fucking turnbuckles. Oh my god, I've never seen a man bounce that hard. off of the corner. But he did. He went like halfway across the ring. Anyways. He then stares Shane down before kicking Elias in the ribs. Elias manages a running knee at Braun and just multiple fists. We get a drop kick to Braun and a right hand to the creepy guy that stands at ringside sometimes that isn't Shane. And then we get the Strowman Express to the creepy guy and Elias, and then a power slam to Elias for Braun to win.
Yeah, another squash for Elias. I like how he's getting booked right now. I mean, he's a great wrestler, but I think it's fitting how he's being booked.
I think he'll probably end up coming back in like some dramatic fashion, though.
Yeah.
Because there were rumors when he first came back that he was going to have a title shot. Which at this point, whenever there's rumors about somebody getting a title shot, I just sit back like, I'm not being tricked this time.
I mean, those rumors were probably also when, like, before the draft, when he was supposed to still be on SmackDown. And it would have made sense for him to have a shot at the Intercontinental title. Imagine a match between him and Big E, actually, now that I think about it. That'd be pretty good.
That'd be pretty decent, yeah.
But then we get our main event. Randy Orton. He's in the ring. And he's got something in a bag. He goes to summon the Fiend. He said, "It seems just like yesterday. He stood right here in this ring and watched the Fiend burn alive. And yesterday, I saw an abomination. And tonight, I'm gonna finish the job. The Fiend won't be around anymore after tonight. Neither will Alexa Bliss." And then Alexa Bliss comes out. She's holding a little jack-in-the-box that says, "Let me in." It's got a pentagram on it. Starts playing it. It pops. And then the Fiend's, like the lights go out and the red light comes on and the Fiend appears right behind Randy. And it's still the burnt zombie Fiend. Perfect. Awesome. And he's just standing there. Randy reaches into his bag and it's a gas can. Sniffs it a little bit, gets a little high before doing it. And then like slowly approaches the Fiend, splashes some on him, backs up a little bit. Fiend's a statue right now. He goes to pour more around. And then the Fiend makes like a sudden move, but then Randy quickly this was impressive how quickly Randy reacted to this and just RKO'd the Fiend. But then Alexa steps into the ring, distracting Randy for a little bit. They stare at each other for a moment, and then Fiend comes back up and feeds Randy the mandible claw. And then the Sister Abigail. Randy's down, and then it's Alexa and the Fiend in the ring. Alexa points at the WrestleMania sign, and that's basically confirmed. After Randy accepts while unconscious, that we'll have the Fiend versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania, a match that, dude, that match is gonna be something to behold. I'm excited.
Yeah, it will be pretty cool, actually. I'm sure.
If they can get Alexa Bliss out of the equation so that there's no like interruption and it's just these two, it'll be great. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah. You're right.
But that's the show.
And you're right.
That's our Raw for today. Now we have our.
Could have been worse.
It could have been worse. Yeah, this was. I really like this Raw. Relatively. You know, it's still 3 hours long, so there's still more that could be done.
Again, like I said, could have been worse. Could have been considerably shittier.
Yeah. But now
we've had worse.
Oh, we've had much worse. But now we have the bests of the night. My favorite part of the night. Unless Liz argues with everything that I say, and then it's not so great.
Last night I lost every single argument, so shut up.
Oh, so sad.
In my own home.
You also lost the predictions, so.
Okay. All right.
So promo of the night. I haven't thought about this at all, but we had Hurt Business backstage. Cedric and Shelton are getting a scolding from MVP and Bobby. That was pretty good. Rhea in the ring challenging Asuka was great. She just exudes confidence. Love it. We had Drew McIntyre backstage with Adam Pearce. That was all right. Miz TV was whatever. AJ Styles and Omos with Riddle riding through was whatever. AJ Styles and Omos in the ring being confronted by the New Day. That was so funny. I loved this promo. It was so good. I love these four. And the best part is like AJ Styles is good friends with Xavier and Kofi, so of course they're gonna make a great promo like this. Really great stuff that they did.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had the interview with Sheamus. I liked the bit where he said Drew helped him out of respect. And then I loved when he smacked Riddle with a scooter. That was great. It quelched my fears of Sheamus not having anything to do now.
Yeah, I get that.
Then we have Cedric, Shelton, MVP backstage, where MVP and Bobby are yelling at the two. And then Bobby puts the bounty out. That was great. Like that a lot. Introducing a new storyline, which I hope works out better than the last time we got a bounty storyline. We had Alexa Bliss in the swing set. That was whatever. It didn't give us anything. We had Shayna and Elias with the Braun is Stupid song. It was whatever. And then we had Randy Orton summoning the Fiend, which was good. It was good. I'm not going to say it's great because there were really no new developments. Just Randy tried to set the Fiend on fire again. Didn't have a lighter or matches or anything. He just had the gas. But it's fine. Good. But my pick for promo of the night, 100%, is AJ and Omos confronting the New Day.
Yeah, I gotta say yes, because both sides of it were fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
In that AJ and Omos were hilarious. And then fucking New Day with their little British accents. What was going on there? What was that vibe?
I don't know.
They were like they were on their own shit, and I loved it.
It was like so unnecessary, but so great. Okay, so Wrestler of the Night. We started off with Bobby Lashley versus Sheamus. I'll give this one to Sheamus, honestly. I don't even know why I wanted to give it to him, but I think Bobby, because he had Cedric and Shelton on his side, it almost felt like he didn't have to do as much, and Sheamus kind of put in a lot more work. But I don't know. I don't think it was an impressive performance from either side. Then we had Asuka versus Peyton Royce, and I'm going to give this one to Peyton because we don't really see her very often. And she really impressed today, especially with her new move, what I'll call the knee smasher. She looked great. She had some light, gentle hits at a few points, but that was outweighed by her great performance. We had Miz versus Jeff Hardy, and I guess I'll give it to Jeff. I don't know. This match kind of sucked. Then we had AJ Styles versus Kofi Kingston. Great match. I am absolutely giving this to Kofi, actually. Kofi had that great finish. He had that pin where he basically grabbed AJ with his legs like scissors. That was awesome. And then Kofi taking that bump when he went for, I think he went for the Trouble in Paradise midair, and AJ just wails him right in the head. That was such a rough bump for Kofi to take, and the fact that he got right back up and continued on.
Kofi took a couple of hard hits tonight, and like the way he got up onto the rope that last time, he was just like, I was like, baby boy, don't do it if you can't, please. I need you.
I can't wait for the WrestleMania match between these four. It is gonna be so good. Then we have Drew McIntyre versus the Hurt Business. I'll give this one to Drew McIntyre. Cedric and Shelton individually were good, but I think because they had to kind of divide their time, we didn't see too much of them. I think Drew really did a good job being ferocious and strong as hell. Love when he gets like the power up, like the momentum going, and deals out the finisher. Gave a hell of a Claymore kick to Cedric, and props to Cedric for selling that so well. But great job from Drew. If only he would switch up his moveset in a way that wasn't just straight up copying other wrestlers' moves.
Like, I understand the Claymore being used at the end, because obviously it's a finisher. Like,
Yeah.
I understand some wrestling. But I just think that it's... everything else needs to have a new home.
Right.
Ultimately. Because, like, it's almost like you can time with clockwork how Jeff Hardy does his shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know, alright, we're 4 minutes into the match, and cue Jeff Hardy being a doofus.
Right.
Right off the bat. But I don't know, Drew. People complain about you being boring, and then you continue to do stuff that would make you boring, and I'm like, you're Romaning yourself, sweetheart. You're Romaning yourself.
I think he's John Cena-ing himself.
Fair. Sort of same diff at the end of the day.
Yeah. I don't know. I think keeping Drew as the babyface is kind of screwing with him. It's messing him up. But then we have Mandy Rose and
heel Roman.
Heel Roman. Yeah, we've got that.
What did I meant to say? I'm gonna say I need heel Drew, but not Scottish psychopath Drew.
Right.
Like, at least give me a vengeful Drew. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You know what? This might be an unpopular opinion. I think Edge should have picked Drew. And we should still have Drew as champion, fighting Edge at Mania. I think it would positively change Drew's character. I don't know. Because I'm happy with Bobby. I love Bobby.
I know what you're saying. I do. I just think that for overall, like, interest points, I'd rather Edge choose Roman, because that's much more interesting to me right now.
Yeah.
Rather than hoping that there's a chance that Drew would become interesting again because Edge chose him.
Yeah.
I mean, Edge even said you're boring because you just kind of like smile and nod, even when I say mean things to you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. But we have Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Who the fuck did I pick for this? I picked Shayna Baszler. I don't know why. We're moving on. We have Braun Strowman versus Elias to finish off. I picked Braun because Elias didn't do a whole lot. God. Okay, I know who I'm picking. I'm picking Kofi Kingston, wrestler of the night.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah, okay. I agree.
Okay.
I had to do some brain work real quick. It was difficult for a second there. But I agree. I mean, Kofi manages to show us stuff that's interesting constantly, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I know people are kind of pissed off about the New Day having the titles now. And I understand to a degree. But at this point, I just hate to say it, the New Day feel like transitional title holders all the time now, because it's just like, well, they'll have it for a little bit and then the next guy will get it.
I think it's going to go to AJ and Omos at Mania.
I do too. I don't know how that's going to work, but I do too.
I hope it also I hope that also brings us to the New Day heel turn. Because they've kind of been bullying AJ and Omos. And people talk about when the New Day were heels, that was like their best moment. I would love to see heel New Day.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen heel New Day, so I'll bite.
They're still like their goofy, colorful selves, but they're more antagonistic.
That's fair. I get
Shit
it.
stirrers, if you will. So now we have match of the night. I don't think it's any question what's match of the night. We had Bobby Lashley versus Sheamus. A really good match that is taking us to an interesting story. The match itself was it was good. It was fine, serviceable. Don't know why it had to be Sheamus that was in this match, but it's whatever. I guess Sheamus makes sense because who else would the Hurt Business feel like they need to help Bobby against? Yeah. Then we have Asuka versus Peyton Royce. This was a good match, especially when you see it leading to Rhea at the end. However, I think shoving Peyton to the side like this, unless it leads to a Peyton-Rhea feud, is very, like, it feels like it's insulting to Peyton, especially after that promo that she had on Raw Talk. But if it does lead to a Peyton-Rhea feud, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, okay. I just need Peyton to be more convincing. There's a lot of stuff and she's been doing this for a while. I've been saying this for a while. Peyton still has a lot of Divas era shit in her that kind of fucks me up a little bit, and I don't like it because she mixes it with shit like she did today, where I was like, that's a wrestler.
Yeah.
But then she does like the little like just shitty kicks, and I'm like,
well, she came from NXT.
Great. So did everyone.
Maybe fighting Rhea and having a feud with her will help her out.
Give me two Australians just against each other, sure.
That'd be great.
Australian on Australian.
Aussie fight. Hey, you look like you hurt yourself.
Ring. No, because I go like this, and it's fun, because sometimes my knuckles are cracked, but now that I've got this ring on, it's like, I scrape the side of my finger every single time. Very delicate skin, you know.
Yeah. Then we had The Miz versus Jeff Hardy. It was turning Jeff Hardy into a jobber, so it's not great. Then we had AJ Styles versus Kofi Kingston. A fantastic match. A well-booked match that started with a great promo. I cannot wait for how this feud turns out. Really good stuff. Really, really great stuff. Then we had Drew McIntyre versus the Hurt Business. A good match that had stakes, which made it even better. Normally, in a handicap match, where the one person wins, it's a little boring. Unless there's stakes like there were tonight. And I thought it was handled really well. I thought Cedric and Shelton looked great. Drew looked great. Really good all around. Then we had Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. trash match, trash Reginald. The only thing worth it was Lana and Naomi on the sidelines. Then we had Braun Strowman versus Elias, a squash match that really did nothing for anyone. The only thing worth it was the ending when Braun called out Shane. If you can even call that worth it. But I think it's fairly obvious. My pick for match of the night is AJ Styles versus Kofi Kingston.
See, I was torn at first when I was thinking about this. Because obviously, like, Braun versus Elias sucked. Shayna, all that shit was horrible. Sheamus and Bobby wasn't horrible, but was dumb. Asuka and Peyton was fodder. F and Miz was fodder. At the end of the day, the only thing that genuinely made me feel anything was Drew and Hurt Business. Drew. And then outside of that, Kofi and AJ. I think Kofi and AJ's match was so complete because we got Kofi being Kofi, which was fun. And AJ fighting the only way AJ knows how to, which is well.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we got Xavier getting to be fun on the sidelines. We got Omos getting to show his character on the sidelines. The promo leading into this was awesome. The match was awesome. Even them screaming at the top of their lungs after leaving the match was awesome. It's got to be this. I really liked it.
And the fact that I'm now super excited for a match that I was kind of indifferent about. I think this...
I just want to know...
What?
I was going to say, if Omos and AJ get the titles, who takes it off of them? Also, go on.
Well, I think the Raw tag scene is horrible as it is. I think what we should have, because I think Street Profits are fighting the Dirty Dogs, or there's going to be some triple threat or something at Mania. I think there should be a title unification match, because in total, in the main roster, you have like 7, maybe 8 tag teams. That's not enough for 2 titles.
Yeah.
So they gotta do the unification match where AJ and Omos beat the Street Profits, and then they're dominant for a while.
Had a vision.
Yeah.
T-Bar. Ace.
There you go.
Still a tag team. They together could lift Omos, I guarantee you.
Yeah. That would be great.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. Thanks for helping me to that realization.
But I still do think they should do a title unification, because the fact that there's 2 titles.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
It's so dumb right now.
There's no doubt about that.
The only tag teams on Raw right now, you got, I guess, AJ and Omos. You got the New Day. You got the Hurt Business. You got maybe Lucha House Party. Until Ivar comes back, you don't have the Viking Raiders.
Jesus Christ, I forgot all about them.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you did. And then maybe now you have
coming back soon.
You should be. I hope so. I would love to see Viking Raiders back again.
It's supposed to be up for like a year, so I think it's a couple more months.
No, it's got to be longer than that. I think so, because Ivar, he was injured fighting, who was it? Ricochet? Oh no, he's injured fighting the Hurt Business.
Ricochet. I think it was Cedric and Ricochet at the point.
I think he was fighting alongside Cedric and Ricochet.
No, because Cedric jumped out on... Because they wouldn't have been fighting the Hurt Business as a tag team if it weren't for the Hurt Business having Cedric and Shelton. Cedric jumped out on Ivar, I think, and that's how he broke his neck.
Right, okay. But yeah. Unify those titles, please, for the love of God. those are our picks for best of the night. It was a sweep. Promo of the night, AJ Styles and Omos confront the New Day. Wrestler of the night, Kofi Kingston. Match of the night, AJ Styles versus Kofi Kingston. It was a Kofi sweep.
Kofi Mania.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. As much as I would love that.
Please, Mr. Vince. Do I close this out now?
If you want, yeah.
Sure. So if you tuned in tonight, thank you so much for tuning in. If you did not tune in tonight, I don't know what you're doing. If you did not tune in tonight, I appreciate you still tuning in at some point in time. I hope you're having a happy end of March,
Easter.
maybe payday. When is Easter? I don't know when Easter is.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Easter is April 4th.
Okay, so I hope you're having a good end of March, maybe a payday, and a happy April Fool's Day, even though it's the worst day of the year. I'm too gullible.
Yeah.
So true. Please tune in on Wednesday. Wednesday night is NXT night. It is our best night. I am promising you all. And it is the night that I am personally most excited about. What are we going to get? A gauntlet with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly for no good reason other than that William Regal loves to say gauntlet? Maybe.
Last man
the
standing
world
match.
is your oyster at the end of the day. An answer to why or what's going to happen to the titles now that Danny tore his shoulder apart. Or Karrion tore Danny's shoulder apart. Maybe. Will we get Timperium? I don't know. I'm really fucking praying on that one, though. I really am, because I can't keep seeing Tommaso. Anyways, so please tune in. It'll be really fun. Or I'll think it's really fun, and you can just laugh along. Yeah, Wednesday night. Fun times. Fun. Mark?
Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, follow, subscribe, all that jazz. Or follow us on the YouTubes, the Pinfall Podcast. We'll be posting this podcast as we have all of our previous ones on there. If you want to watch those, catch up. And also we watch Raw, so you don't have to. Just want to throw that out there. We watch wrestling, so you don't have to. Our Twitter is at Pinfall Podcast. I am at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And that's it. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoy. And a fantastic night. We'll see you on Wednesday for NXT.